Today I'm very happy to have Tom Buttke as a hometown hero at the state capitol. And then, who is Tom Buttke and what has he done, or what really hasn't he done when it comes down to the Marshfield community, the surrounding area? He's a guy who volunteers without being asked. And what I want to do is go into a little bit of his history here. 22 years on the Marshfield City Council. Sad for him, he had to sit next to me for 8 of those years. The other 8, he sat next to my wife, so I'm sure he enjoyed those 8 versus me. There was a time on there where an alderman next to us, Tom and I were discussing something, and he basically, in council, just yelled, "Shut up!" And I didn't mean that loud here. But, so we were basically, I don't know if you remember that, Tom, but I'll never forget it, that we had to quiet down. So currently Tom is on the county board of Wood County. He's spent over 35 years in wastewater treatment for Marshfield and Abbotsford. In 2011, the Marshfield Parks and Recreation presented him with the Volunteer of the Year, dating back to his days as a volunteer youth coach who coached baseball and softball. Volunteer for Wildwood Zoological Society, including volunteering and staffing the Zoo Society concession stand during the summer Wild Wednesday programs, coordinating and securing donations for the construction of the Wall for Wildlife at the zoo. He was also very well known for his Cans for Critters fundraising. He helped with the fundraising efforts to have a new bear exhibit built, which now houses 2 bears, which were brought to Marshfield as orphans. If you ever get a chance to go to Marshfield, it's really one of those cool things that we have in our city. He raised money by recycling cans for the Nutrition on Weekend program to benefit food insecure children. And he's quoted as, "There's no better feeling than when I'm helping people, especially children." He was presented in the United Way Volunteer of the Year Award in 2018. His most recent accomplishment was dedicating thousands of hours to development of a Veterans Wall of Honor at the Citizens Community Center in Marshfield. This wall was dedicated in February of 22, and I think we were on the floor that day. I wanted to be there. I know he'd like me to be there. I was not able to. But to get this wall going and everything else, he held brat fries, he applied for grants, and then he actually had volunteers help. And basically, Tom is not a veteran. So when a non-veteran's helping out the veterans and they put this wall together, it's super impressive. If you get to Marshfield, I mean, it's those who have passed, but it's probably one of the neatest walls that we have when it comes down to our community center. He's an individual that put children first, veterans first, and our entire community first. I'm proud to recognize my friend and community volunteer who's done so many great things in Marshfield, but I'm proud to recognize Tom Buttke as a hometown hero. And I'll let Tom say a few words, but really when it comes down to it, Tom is that guy that will do anything for you. You don't even have to ask. And it's kind of nice to have people in the community, and I've seen him at all different events, the Wildwood Zoo, everywhere else, and he's out there volunteering, and he's not being asked to do it. So with that, let's recognize Tom.
Does anybody know who Mr. Spiros was talking about? You talk about what I've done, but I didn't do any of it alone. I have to recognize, I do a program on the city channel. It's called Heroes from Home, where I interview veterans, and they tell their story. And actually, David, right behind me, from the communication committee with the city, is the one that came up with this. And sometimes, I think it'd be better if he did the program, because he's much better looking than I am, But it's really an honor to hear their stories on veterans, and like the honor flight that you see, people sometime open up when you get them alone. And I had one individual says, I didn't do anything and I don't have much to say. It was the easiest interview I ever had because he just opened up. And another gentleman that I had, we just recognized him. He's 97 years old. He was our first interview person from the program. And he's got all kinds of stories, but it was a little tougher with him, very hard of hearing. But when he got to, I did the interview with him, I really had to pull things out of him. And once I got him going, it was great. The wall that Mr. Spiros talks about, I had a lot of help. My sister, Renee, stand up, please. I better recognize my wife, Terry, stand up. And we also have another sister that couldn't make it today because she's smarter than the rest of the family. She's going to Arizona, Kathy. So I did have, and I had other people help as well. But that's the thing that we're most proud of. Over 2,600 deceased vets on our wall in Marshfield. And you know, it's nice to honor all those people, but one of the funny things, every once in a while we'll get a slip from somebody, and is this from all of Wisconsin here on this wall? I don't think so. I don't think we got a big enough building for that, unfortunately, but that is such an honor to do something like that, and we're looking to expand it more. So, I'll end it with this. I always say at the end of my interview with Heroes from Home, don't just recognize veterans on Veterans Day, Memorial Day. Whenever you see a veteran, go up to them and say thank you.